I'm going to call this video What My Friends and I Did in 2020. And before I get going, I'm reminded of what another friend has said rightly, that the only cheating in a hobby is claiming credit for something you didn't do. So I want to say right off the bat, there's a lot of work displayed right here sitting on this shelf, these two shelves in the top of the piano, which were built by my friends. And I'll explain more about that as we run through. I'll start with the airplanes in the back, and they are all by me, built by me. They were part of my project to do 14 builds of vintage World War I plastic model kits, 1/48 scale, all manufactured by the Aurora Company in the late 1950s and early 1960s. And I worked on these airplanes from August of this year and finished up before Christmas. Fokker D7, SPAD 13, Fokker triplane, and the famous Sopwith Camel. And down here, the Bristol Fighter, the Halberstadt C3, in the shadows there, the British SE5A, and another Albatross, the C3, the Sopwith triplane, and the Fokker D8. Up here on this shelf, the False D3, a Newport 28, an Albatross D3, and a Newport 11. Again, all of these kits were static model kits built and produced in the U.S. by Aurora in the late 1950s, early 1960s. I had a couple of these, not these exact ones, but similar ones when I was a kid. And I wanted to build replicas and started that project a few months ago. In the meantime, I was also running a proxy race series, and that's where my friends come in. I had the honor of being able to arrange this proxy race series for 1/32 scale slot cars, all scratch built from various gifted builders around the world. And we just concluded the first race here at my place, and this will be the only time where these dozen cars plus a couple that I built myself over on the end, and I'll show you those in a moment, will all be together. And they are grouped in front of the airplanes, sort of a mismatch, I suppose. They're a bigger scale, and they come from a period of about 50 years later, the early 1960s. So here we have Max's Lotus 25, David's BRM P4857, Mark's Lola Mark IV, Charles's Cooper T58, Bob's Lotus 25. This is Andy's Ferrari Aero 156. This is also Andy's. This is a Lotus 18. This is David M's Lotus 24 BRM. And here we have Sherman's Ferrari 156-63. We have John's ENB Maserati. We have another car from David, a Ferrari 156-62P, and another car from Sherman, a BRP BRM. Again, all Formula One cars that raced between 1961 and 1963. They all are genuine and real race cars. They run on electric current, 1/32 scale, and they're in my proxy series that I've administered and hosted. My two entries are back here in the shadows. The piano top wasn't long enough for all of them. A Lotus 21 and a BRM P61. I've got a couple of my other builds. These are cars I made for last year, BRM P261 and a BRM P83. This was also a car from about a year and a half, 2 years ago that I built, a Ferrari 158. So that was the projects, two projects. All of the airplanes will be staying with me. They're not going to fly anywhere. And the cars are going to be on their way to the great Midwest for round 2 of the series. Thought I'd share these fantastic builds by my friends. A couple of cars from me and all of these pretty cool biplanes, which turn out to be pretty nice models if you have the patience to paint them and find some aftermarket decals to put on them. Okay. Thanks for watching, folks.